All right, y'all. So today we're going to be taking a look at the SSL Bus Plus, and specifically we're going to be looking at how to set the frequency range of the dynamic EQ. This unit is very deep. There's a whole lot of just hidden menus and things like that in this SSL Bus Plus. So today let's just talk about the dynamic EQ. So I don't know if you know what dynamic EQ is, but basically dynamic EQ is not a static EQ. When you set a static EQ, it is basically static, just like the name says. The EQ is affecting the whole sound source or whatever you're putting the EQ on. But with dynamic EQ, you can set the EQ so that it only engages at a specific time. So if you have say you have a vocal and your vocal is fine, but there's one area of your vocal that's giving you problems, well, instead of using a static EQ, which will affect the whole entire vocal, you can use a dynamic EQ and just fix that one specific area of the vocal that's giving you problems. And the way that is handled is through using the threshold of the dynamic EQ. So you're basically going to set the dynamic EQ to be engaged at a certain threshold. So let's say -5. When the sound source hits -5, then you set your dynamic EQ to engage when that sound hits -5. And then when the sound goes outside of the -5, then the EQ is not engaged. So I hope that makes sense. So with the SSL Bus Plus, you get to set the dynamic EQ, but you also have to set the frequency range of the dynamic EQ on the SSL Bus Plus, which you do in any plugin or anything of that nature. But this is a hardware unit, and so you have to tell this unit at which frequency you want the dynamic EQ to engage. So if you look right here in our manual, right here, these are our frequency points right here. And those frequency points are going to be set using this low frequency pot here and this high frequency pot here. All right. So basically how you do it on the Bus Plus is you push the knob in and you hold it. And then it'll start blinking like that, right? So now all you do is you use this high frequency or this low frequency button to take the frequency up or down. So let me show you. So you hit it. So now this is changing the frequency. This is changing the frequency of the dynamic EQ. So according to our manual right here, so let's say we're at number 4 on the frequency selection. All right, so we're at number 4. Okay, now being that we're setting the low frequency, according to our manual right here, number 4 is 50 hertz. So what that means is we have it set at 50 hertz. So now what I can do is hold it again to turn it off. So now our dynamic EQ is set at 50 hertz. So now when the music is, or whenever our sound source is playing and we turn our low frequency knob down, then we're compressing at 50 hertz. Okay? And keep in mind that on the SSL Bus Plus, the low frequency compression of the dynamic EQ is a shelf. Okay, so as you can see right here, the illustrations below show you the frequency to which each needle position corresponds to. The default frequency of the low frequency shelf is 60 hertz. All right, so you have a shelf. So I set it at 50 hertz, but the default position is 60 hertz. So you can leave it at default, or you could set it to whatever frequency you want. So according to this, the number 8 position is at 80 hertz. The number 12 position is 110 hertz, so forth and so on. So basically, again, we're going to press and hold the low frequency pot, okay? And then we're just going to use our high frequency or our low frequencies to take it up or down to basically select our frequency. So the HF button takes the frequency up. The LF button takes the frequency back down. All right. And it's the same for the high frequency, same exact thing. So you can either hold the button or you can hit the mode button to exit out of there. All right. So now let's set the high frequency. Same thing. You hold it down. All right. Now look here. According to our manual, the manual is showing us that by default, the high frequency is set at a shelf 2, but you can change the high frequency to a bell curve by pressing this button right here. All right. We can't press it right now because it's waiting on us to set our frequency, but I'll show you in a second. So basically, same thing with the high frequency. You could take it up using the HF button or take it down using the LF button. All right. And then you want to turn it off by holding the HF button or again the mode button. And as you can see there, we're in a bell curve now. But if we want it to be in shelf, we just hit that. All right. We hit the HF button and the high frequency and the bell curve goes away and it defaults to a shelf. All right. So that's how you set the frequencies of the dynamic EQ on the SSL Bus Plus. Now, you also have a range of compression that the SSL Bus Plus gives you. All right, let's set that real quick. So basically, you want to hold your LF or your HF button in whichever frequency you're trying to set. All right, now your range indicator is on this side right here. Okay, it's on the right side. Right there. All right. And you basically are going to set your range in the same fashion that you did by setting your frequency. So this is your range. And this is it right here. This is your range of compression. So however many dBs you want your dynamic EQ to be compressed or expanded by, you set that over here. Just hit your HF, your LF buttons. There it is. So I hope that helps somebody in explaining how to set the frequencies of the frequencies and the compression range of the dynamic EQ on the SSL Bus Plus.